I was told by Vince Carter not to put a year that you want to end on, not to put years, limit yourself. So I'm just going to keep going. My body feels better than it did 3 years ago. So I can't say what I'll feel like in two years from now. So hopefully it just continues to trend in this direction. Yeah, Finch was great since day one. Very direct, very honest. Like I said, he's one of the few coaches I've been around that's able to kind of command the room, talk to everybody the same way, demand a lot out of different guys. And that bodes well for, just having a team that believes in you and guys that'll, run through walls for you. So, going forward, we'll continue to talk. We'll continue to try to develop, the best case for our team offensively, defensively. Like, what can we do to improve? What areas, like I think a lot of things are similar to when we were in Utah a few years ago. So it's like, what do you guys do with, against zone in Utah? What do you guys do against, did you guys run to the corners? Like, did you, just different things that are that we can implement and, just try to continue to progress with. So he's been great, and he's helping me try to find a place to live now. So we're working on that too.
And I wanted him to grow as a player and also and everything. So just having to sacrifice more shots, and make sure I give him the ball a little more so we could kind of even out the shot totals. Give him a chance to, we know that when you're a guard, when I play Andrew Wiggins, everything, I know I'm a center power forward now. So I knew that shot volume is something that I probably would not get, and I knew that someone has to be the shot volume guy. So Ant seemed to be that dude that could do that, could be the Andrew Wiggins. So volume shooter. I wanted to get Ant a little more shots. With Rudy to sacrifice playing four, gave my calves, so I think that was a pretty significant sacrifice I made.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've said it several times throughout the season. It felt like multiple seasons in one with all the things that we were dealing with at any given time. Reflecting throughout the season for sure, I thought we always try to take away the things that we can build upon, some of the successes that we had. I think going into the season, one of the things that we were really kind of gauging our success on was like the growth of Ant and Jaden, and in particular in Nas as well. Those guys took major steps forward. Losing Cat for 50-some games and still finishing with a winning record and making the playoffs. I think while we had greater expectations, I think when you readjust for what, missing Cat for that many games, I think we also have to realize that, the team put another successful season together. Certainly being in the playoffs was a great experience for us. Again, those young players, Ant in particular, we've seen what he can do now in the playoffs 2 years in a row, so that's probably not a coincidence. We saw some good things to take away from with some of the lineup construction, some of the roster construction around the two bigs for sure. We got a lot of work to do there to be better, no doubt about it. I think defensively we found a lot of things that we feel comfortable with going forward. So, I think overall, I would gauge it as a moderate success. I mean, for sure we would have liked to, with a fully healthy roster, go further. But, back-to-back playoff appearances for a franchise that hasn't sniffed the playoffs in 20 years, I think is something to be proud of. It's been my experience with the way that we like to play. It usually takes about 25 games or so to for everyone to feel really comfortable in the system. Obviously, if you have a returning roster with playing the same way, I think you get off to a really good start offensively. But given the fact that we sputtered a little bit there, I would expect that there's going to be another adjustment period. But I think we got to simplify a lot of things on offense for our guys. I think boil it down. I think at one point in time we had what I felt maybe too much going on. Trying to do too much. I think we got to make it a little bit simpler for our guys. I think, like I said, we start the season, we try to emphasize being big, throwing the ball inside the cat, those types of things. And then we just went away from that, obviously, with the injury. And then it was a lot more spread pick and roll. And then we thought we felt pretty good there. Then coming back, and, it feels a little bit like a waste of talent to just use cat as a spacer. But how do we kind of start blending that a little bit better on the fly with things? That's more what I'm talking about than it is about the start of the season. So yeah, I think for sure. I think we found life a little different just with the weight of expectations at the Rudy trade, no doubt about it. I think that's the only thing that kind of lingers in our mind is that maybe we didn't finish with more wins in the playoffs rather than in the play-in. And maximize that. But like I said, there was other circumstances that probably kept us from doing that just as much as anything else. But I can also assure you that nobody comes to work with more expectation to win on than the coaches and the players, regardless of what outside expectations are. So internally, the biggest thing I think where we let ourselves down was some of the teams that. At the bottom of the table, we didn't play well against those. Those are wins that you got to get. That's another sign of maybe growth and immaturity where we definitely can improve. If you look around the league, teams that play well in those circumstances are teams. A lot of teams that are still playing right now.
How do you think he did that this year?
I think Ant was great. I think obviously he had career numbers. I thought he was fantastic in the playoffs. I think pretty much every decision we're going to make moving forward is going to be with Ant paramount. So I think the key we're tasked with developing, I think the best 21-year-old in the world, who's as you guys know, a great, great kid who wants it, who's so competitive, whose work ethic is off the charts, is we want him to, as he grows, we want him to see winning. We want him to be around winners. So I think it's great when you see a guy like Mike Conley and the veteran leadership he gives to Ant. I think too often in our league, the development coincides with losing, and we feel pretty strongly that the best way to learn to win is to win early and to win often. But it's a challenge to ensure that we're doing any and everything to make sure he's developing, not just individually, but the team's developing at a level that we think we can get to. And that'll be the challenge this offseason. I think the playoffs, the lion's share, if you get there, everyone's talented. Right? So much of it is injuries and matchups. So we're seeing that, some other teams are having early press conferences that are quite surprising. I think we have an elite coaching staff. I know we have an elite coaching staff. We have really, really talented guys who care and are going to come back a better version of themselves. And relative to what's happened in the past individually with players, oftentimes it's the mix. And I think when you have a leader as good as Finch and you have guys as talented as Ant and Kat and these guys, I think we should be pretty confident. And we got to be our own biggest fans. We have to not assume success, but we have to assume that we can be at a successful level we think we can get to.
Making the playoffs is always good. I definitely feel like we left a lot of games on the table that we could have won, but I think with the maturity and the growth of this offseason, we can learn from those mistakes and capitalize and put ourselves in a much easier position to be in a higher seed next season.
Do you think, is that just a natural process of team being together, guys getting older and more experienced, or are there kind of things specifically that maybe you all can do to really kind of hone in on that this summer and make sure that next year would improve there?
We dealt with a lot of things this season as far as injuries. So I feel like the camaraderie was kind of taking blows throughout the season, and our ability to grow quicker together. As you saw when we were all healthy, I think we can all agree that we were a very good team. And a lot of people didn't want to see us all healthy, but we still weathered the storm, even through injuries with myself, Kat, Nas, and Jaden throughout the season as well as the end of the season. So I just think us healthy and us focusing on our bodies and getting right is the most important thing.
Watching a little bit of film offensively and then just adding a little bit more tools to my game, like creating off the three. It's just still staying aggressive offensively and defensively, just growing from what I did this year. So getting stronger and then being more smart with fouls and stuff.
you had a very good season. Now you'll go into a summer with the ability to get a big extension. Like, what's kind of, how do you anticipate that going, and what are you hoping comes out of that?
You said with a big what?
Contract extension.
I mean, I don't even really think about it. I haven't thought about it all year. Or people like tell me stuff here and there, like, "Oh, you're gonna get this, you're gonna get that," but I try not to really think about it. Like, at the end of the day, I'm just playing basketball, so that's all I really care about. I was just like a little too frustrated, and I just thought I was hitting the curtain, but I hit the wall. So, I mean, I made a dumb mistake. I mean, it happens in basketball. So, I mean, I wish I could take it back, but like after, there's nothing I could do. So I was mad and like mad for my teammates. I know they was probably upset too, but at the end of the day, I was mad at myself, and then I felt bad. But there's nothing I could do after that.
I mean, I'm grateful. Just grateful for, first of all, being able to do what I love to do. You know, being able to play at the highest level. You know, it's always been a dream for me to be able to play in the NBA. So I try to always remind myself that nothing is granted in life and in sports, in everything. So grateful that, you know, for myself it was a pretty healthy season. You know, had a couple of things, couple of injuries, but you know, we did I thought me and my team did a great job, try to, you know, keep me healthy through those times, and I was able to help the team also for that playing tournament, and also be there for every game in the playoffs. So I thought that was huge for me. And yeah, regarding the season, I mean, a lot of adversity, you know, and for myself, I mean, just coming in a new organization, landing a couple of days before training camp, from playing with the French national team, with I mean, a lot of things that, a couple of injuries and things that I was dealing with, and moving, and, you know, getting to start training camp, but not being able to be 100%. You know, I mean, a lot of adversity, but a lot of new things for me. But it was a great. I think it was great. I mean, I really embraced it. You know, a lot of noise, some positive, some negative, but that comes with everything, especially when you have, you know, high expectations, and I have very high expectations for myself. So I kind of embrace that too. But yeah, you know, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of adversity, but I'm really grateful for all that, and I think it was a great year in terms of growth, you know, as a team and individually. I think it starts in the summertime, you know, try to carry over the things that we've been able to build this year. And when training camp comes, really about to set our foundation. And it's not just about basketball, it's about everything around this organization and all the things that we can try to, all the standards that we want to try to set to be, hopefully to be one of the top organizations in the world, in NBA organizations, you know, in this league, and give ourselves the best chance to build, to change the culture, you know, and really install a winning culture here. And yeah, it starts with the little things, you know, just the little details. And, you know, I think this year has been we've really brought up a lot of good things, and I think next year we're going to keep building on that and keep adding more and more.
You mentioned all the noise. How well did you do personally at blocking that out this year?
I mean, for me, I understand how, you know, coming in from nothing, you know, I've kind of been used of being told that I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, or, you know, like it's kind of part of who I am. So when the trade happens, I knew that there was obviously a lot of expectations which I embrace. I've accomplished a lot of really good things over the last few years, so that comes with it. That comes with that title. And yeah, I knew. I mean, obviously, the fan base, the national media, things like that always show me a lot of love. I knew that they were waiting for me at the corner, but I kind of put that to the side and really try to focus on being the best really that I can be, and as a human being always, but also especially also for this team and this organization that really put a lot of faith in me, and brought me in to try to build something special, and yeah, I'm really grateful for that, and I always say that great things takes time, so when you talk about the noise, people change their mind so fast. One day you're the worst player in the world, and one day, you're the best player in the world. So it's just noise at the end of the day. For me, it's really being able to be the best really I can be, every day, and I'm gonna keep doing that. And when it's all said and done, I'll have no regrets, at the end.
And I wanted him to grow as a player and also and everything. So just having to sacrifice more shots, and make sure I gave him the ball a little more so we could kind of even out the shot totals. Give him a chance to, we know that when you're a guard, when I play Andrew Wiggins, everything, I know I'm a center power forward now. So I knew that shot volume is something that I probably would not get, and I knew that someone has to be the shot volume guy. So Ant seemed to be that dude that could do that. Could be the Andrew Wiggins. So volume shooter. I wanted to get Ant a little more shots. With Rudy to sacrifice playing 4 gave my calves, so I think that was a pretty significant sacrifice I made.